Welcome to this quiz on GST, where we are going to deal with 50 questions. Correct? We are going to do 50 questions, and let's see. It's not only about questions, it is about background of those questions, and you try to answer, and after every 10 questions you keep on telling me your score. Correct? So at CA intermediate level and at CS executive level, directly they are asking MCQs. Maybe at CS professional level directly MCQs are not asked, but yes, this will be somewhere helpful to test the concepts. So let us start. GST in India follows dash model. Which models? You have to answer A, B, C, D or whatever. You can, yes, directly type the solution as well. Yes, it follows dual model. So I am going to highlight the correct answer. It follows dual model. You can highlight, or in your notebook you can write first answer is C, and then what will happen after every question is done, or rather all questions are done, I will send you its hard copy in the respective groups. Dash was the first country in the world to adopt GST. Which was the first country in the world to adopt GST? Yes, it was France. Absolutely. Then dash refers to tax paid on purchase of goods or availment of services. Input tax, of course, it is input tax. So to warm up with simple ones, I hope you have got 3 out of 3 till now. Fourth one, state the odd man out. Bus, car with sitting capacity of 8 passengers, car with sitting capacity of 13 passengers, aircraft. What do you think? What is the odd man out? See, here many of you I can see are getting confused. In my opinion, answer is A, bus. Answer is bus. Why bus? There is no chance of claiming ITC on car with sitting capacity of 8 passengers, car with 13 passengers, aircraft. On these 3, ITC is directly blocked. If we talk about motor vehicle, for transportation of passengers with sitting capacity up to 13 including driver, ITC is blocked. But when it exceeds 13, ITC is admissible. So in my opinion, answer is bus, where ITC is directly admissible. But for B, C and D point, ITC is prima facie blocked. There could be some exceptions to it where it is not blocked. So many of you I can see have gone wrong here. So any doubt why it is bus? It was with the perspective that ITC can be directly claimed. It is not blocked in case of bus, because sitting capacity will be exceeding 13. Got it? Can I go ahead? Okay. Yes. ITC of IGST will be used to pay output tax. The preference of its utilization will be as follows. Correct. So I can see the chat window flooded with the answers. Answer is C. Section 49 subsection 5, read with rule 88A of CGST rules the sequence of utilization of ITC to pay output tax. First of all, you know ITC can be utilized only to pay output tax, and the sequence is first use ITC of IGST to pay output tax of IGST, balance if any to pay output tax of CGST and SGST in any order and proportion. So C is the correct answer. And then if any ITC of CGST is there, then use it to pay output tax of CGST and balance if any IGST. And if after that any ITC of SGST is there, use it to pay output tax of SGST and balance if any IGST. Then, which of the following is not exclusion while computing transaction value as per section 15 of CGST Act? I am asking not exclusion. So, discount is exclusion. Government subsidy is exclusion. Why it is exclusion? Because as per section 15 subsection 2 clause E, they include any subsidy other than government subsidy. GST is again exclusion, because what is included is any taxes other than GST. Subsidy other than government subsidy. Subsidy other than government subsidy should be included. So answer is D. Okay, 7th. A supplier in Maharashtra who is engaged exclusively in supply of goods shall be liable to be registered if his aggregate turnover during financial year exceeds rupees 40 lakhs. Why 40 lakhs? See, we have done in tables and charts batch also. We revised this point that for exclusively when I am engaged in supplying goods, then there is a higher threshold limit of rupees 40 lakhs. For any state other than 10 states, when I talk about MMNT, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland and Tripura, for them the limit is rupees 10 lakhs for both goods as well as services. Very good. And SMPUT, that is Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Puducherry, Uttarakhand and Telangana, it is 20 lakhs for both goods as well as services. Correct? So all these limits you know. And there are 3 goods for which this higher limit of 40 lakhs is not at all applicable. Those goods are ice cream, pan masala, tobacco and tobacco substitutes. Okay? Don't take aerated water here. Aerated water is there in composition levy. Okay, fine. 8th one. Supplier in Telangana who is engaged exclusively in supply of goods shall be liable to be registered if his aggregate turnover during financial year exceeds. Correct. Answer is 20 lakhs. Just now we discussed SMPUT, those 6 states. Then supplier in Tripura who is engaged exclusively in supply of goods shall be liable to be registered if his aggregate turnover during financial year exceeds rupees 10 lakhs. MMNT, it falls in that category. Then 10th question. After 10th question, you will evaluate your score out of 10 and all of you will tell me. Okay? A bucket is given free of cost along with detergent. The supply is for rupees 500. Which is the principal supply in the above case? Mind you, all of you are giving, most of you I would say are giving incorrect answers. Kirti has given correct answer. Answer is C. Answer is C. There is no principal supply involved. Why there is no principal supply involved? Because this is a mixed supply. Absolutely correct. Even Karishma has given correct answer. Shweta has given correct answer. It is a mixed supply. Isn't it? Chalo. So please tell me your score out of 10. There are 33 participants. Let me check. Himani got 9, Kirti got 9, Sachin got 8, Suraksha 8, 8, 8, 10 out of 10. I missed who got 10 out of 10. Nikhil 9, Rucha 9. It is going fast na here. Ishika 8. So don't mind if I don't take up your name. Revati 7, Ritika 7, Priyanka 8 and Asha 9. It is Asha, right? Okay. Anisha. Okay, fine. Got it? Chalo. Who got 10 out of 10? Sorry, I missed out on that. I'll just go back and check. Yes, Shweta got 10 out of 10. Very good, very good. Chalo. Now, again, anyone else with 10 out of 10? No. Okay. Very good. So, one participant has got 10 out of 10. Okay, honestly answer next 10 questions and again tell me your score. Maximum rate of CGST that government is empowered to set on particular goods or services as per the notification is -%. Understand the question properly. Rate of CGST that government is empowered to set. So government is empowered to set. We are talking about CGST. So answer is D, 20%. Answer is D, 20%. Okay. Which of the goods are permanently kept out of GST? Answer is alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Yes, very good. If ITC is to be availed, then which of the following condition is not to be satisfied? I am saying not to be satisfied. Recipient of supply should have received the goods. Tax on supply should be paid by the supplier to the government. Recipient of supply should be in possession of tax invoice. None of the above, as all these conditions should be satisfied. So answer is D, none of the above, as all these conditions should be satisfied. Clear? Then a machine is purchased for 10 lakhs plus GST at 18%. That is 1,80,000. Invoice value 11,80,000. Depreciation under Income Tax Act should be claimed on how much rupees in order to smoothly claim benefit of ITC? Very good, fantastic. It should be claimed on only rupees 10 lakh, so that you can claim ITC of 1,80,000. Can anyone tell me section, subsection? Very good. Revati, 16 subsection 3. Kirti, correct. Yes, yes, very good. Then 15th question. If invoice for goods and the goods are received on 31st December 2020, the last date of claiming ITC shall be dash, given that annual return is furnished on 14th November 2021. Revati, check your answer. 20th October 21 should be the answer. 20th October 21 should be the answer. Isn't it? Which section, subsection we are talking about? We are talking about, very good, section 16 subsection 4. The last date of claiming ITC is due date of filing of return for the month of September following the end of the financial year to which the invoice pertains, or actual date of filing annual return, whichever is earlier. So it is here 20th October 21 or 14 November 21, whichever is earlier. 16th. In which of the following cases ITC is blocked as per 17(5) of CGST Act? 1. Goods damaged, destroyed. Goods given away as gifts. Goods purchased from person who has opted for composition scheme, or all of the above? All of the above. Correct. We can go to 17th. GST payable on outward supply during the month is 1,80,000, while purchase of goods used in business is of 6 lakh. excluding GST. GST is at 18%. Compute net GST payable. Compute it and tell me what is net GST payable. Answer is B, rupees 72,000. Why it is 72,000? Check your input tax credit 6 lakh into 18%, 1 lakh 8,000, 1 lakh 80,000 minus 1 lakh 8,000. Your answer is 72,000. Okay, very good, fantastic. Person who is liable to be registered under GST should apply for the same within dash days of becoming liable for registration. Tell me section, subsection. Who says so? Yes, 30 days is absolutely correct. Neither section 24 nor section 30. It is section 25. Because 25 is procedure for registration. In this 25 it is given that registration should be applied for within 30 days from the date of becoming liable. 19th question. With respect to service provided other than banking service, invoice should be issued within dash days of provision of service. Within 30 days from the date of provision of service, isn't it? Yes. Next. With respect to banking service, tax invoice should be issued within dash days from date of provision of service. Answer is D, 45 days. So can you please tell me how many marks you got out of this 10? 10 out of 10. Very good. Fantastic. Many of you I can see got 10 out of 10. Good. Are you realizing those who got 8, 9? Are you getting what mistakes you made? Yes. Very good. Is it helping you to revise quickly all the things? Tell me, anyone with 20 out of 20 till now? Anyone with 20 out of 20 till now? Just write me in front of your name and tell me. Okay. Anyone with 19 out of 20? Write me in front of your name. Very good. 3 of you with 19 out of 20. Okay, 18 out of 20. Very good, very good. Chalo, a lot of you. Fine. Chalo, let's go ahead. 21st question. If invoice is raised within prescribed time from date of provision of service, then the time of supply of service shall be. Invoice is raised within prescribed time. Then what will be time of supply of service? It will be the date of issue of invoice or the date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Which section, subsection? Very good. 13 subsection 2 of which act? By the way, 13 subsection 2 of CGST Act. Very good. Next. As per 12 subsection 2 of CGST Act, time of supply of goods where supplier is liable to pay GST on forward charge basis shall be date of issue of invoice or the last date when such invoice had to be issued, whichever is earlier. Perfect. 23rd. Where there is advance up to rupees dash against an invoice, then at the option of supplier, time of supply shall be the date of issue of invoice against such advance against which such advance is adjusted? Yes, answer is rupees 1000. Perfect. Then where the supply is identifiable at the time of voucher, then what is the time of supply? Then the time of supply is date of issue of voucher. Can you tell me examples given in the class for this? What examples were given for this? Crossword bookshop, where issue of voucher is against supply of books only. Salon, where issue of voucher is against salon, that is beauty treatment service only. Revati, no, not Shopper Stop, because Shopper Stop was example given where supply is not identifiable, isn't it? Supply is identifiable means only against one thing it could be redeemed. Example that was given was of Raymond's Limited. Perfect. Another example could be of Bata, that Bata stores has issued a voucher which can be redeemed only and only against what? Footwear. Yes, Cotton King issues voucher which could be redeemed only against clothes. Correct. Very good. Then where supply is not identifiable. Correct, Priyanka, that laundry services example was given for supply identifiable. Okay, supply is not identifiable at time of issue of voucher. Then time of supply is date of redemption of voucher. What example given to you? That Shopper Stop. Supply is not identifiable. Okay. Which subsection, by the way, for vouchers? Which subsection for vouchers? Subsection 4 of section 12 in case of goods, section 13 in case of services. Good. Goods were purchased at 1 lakh by buyer. However, since the buyer did not pay the amount for purchase within time, he was charged interest of 2360, including GST at 18%. Compute assessable value for supply of goods. All of you are blindly answering. That's why you are getting this incorrect. Aisha and Shweta, you have got correct answers. Answer is 1,02,000. Okay, see, this is not a competition to answer fast, but you should think and answer. Because see, 1 lakh is excluding GST, so this entire 1 lakh and 2360, that is interest, it should form part of value that you know. But that interest is including GST at 18%. Exclude GST element from that, which is 360 rupees. Exclude that 360 and add 2000 in 1 lakh. Answer will be 1,02,000. Is the point very clear to all of you now? Good. So see, many of you have gone wrong here. Where the value of supply has to be increased, that is where value of supply is understated in invoice, then dash should be issued subsequently. What should you issue? Now see the options correctly. What is the correct answer, you tell me? What is the correct answer? I am surprised. Till this point, no one has given correct answer. Correct answer is D. Correct answer is D. B or C. Debit note itself can be called as supplementary invoice. So answer should be D. Isn't it? Shouldn't you put tick on the most appropriate answer. Yes or no? Correct. Then where discount is to be given after supply, then dash has to be issued. Then what has to be issued? Then a credit note has to be issued. Which of the following statement is most correct and appropriate? Take your time. There is no competition to answer fast. You have to tell me which is the most correct and appropriate. In all services supplied through an ECO, it is liability of an ECO to pay GST. Only in notified to services supplied through an ECO, it is liability of ECO to pay GST. Reverse charge mechanism means liability of recipient of supply to pay GST. Reverse charge mechanism means liability of recipient of supply to pay GST, and such reverse charge mechanism is as per section 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 4 of CGST Act, applicable only in notified cases. Which is the most appropriate and correct statement? Most of you have given correct answer. It is D. Because you know there are 3 notified services for 9 subsection 5. So answer cannot be B, answer cannot be A. C is partially correct. So the most correct is D. Then next one, annual return under GST will be filed in GSTR 9. Is the point very clear to all of you? So out of this next 10, who got 10 out of 10? Priyanshu 9, very good. Himani 8. Muskan 9. Gyanesh 8. 10. Mansi, very good. Ishika 9. Aisha 9. Shweta 9. Sachin 8. Jayalakshmi 9. Rucha 9. Suraksha 8. Good. So anyone 30 out of 30 till this point? No one is 30 out of 30, I am sure. 29 out of 30. Anyone with 29 out of 30? Anyone with 28 out of 30? Kirti, Nikhil, Shweta, Aisha, Rucha, very good. Anyone with 27 out of 30? Priyanshu, then Muskan, Namita, Ishika, very good. 26 out of 30? Himani, Priyanka, Suraksha, Revati, Jayalakshmi. Okay. Last I am asking 25 out of 30. Okay. So now what we have to do, you know, we have to keep on doing such sessions, and there should be some point till 30 April where you get 50 out of 50. Correct? We'll keep on improving on this. Chalo, let's go ahead. Aggregate turnover is defined in which section, subsection? It is defined in section 2 subsection 6. Very good, fantastic. In which of the following case it is not compulsory to obtain registration under GST? In which of the following case it is not compulsory to obtain registration under GST? 1. A person engaged in interstate supply of goods having turnover of 8 lakhs. Person engaged in interstate supply of services having turnover of 7,50,000. Casual taxable person, or none of the above. So mind you, here answer is B. Very critical one. I'll tell you why. See, for casual taxable person, registration is always compulsory. Section 24. For person who is engaged in interstate supply of goods, again registration is always mandatory irrespective of turnover. Section 24. But for services, it is okay if you are doing interstate supply, turnover not exceeding 20 lakhs. That's why answer is B, not compulsory. Yes, you are, those who have not yet done 24, it's okay even if you don't get its answer. So Priyanka, you will understand it in upcoming sessions. Correct? We are taking this all inclusive quiz. So don't worry for the things which you have not yet covered if you have. Okay? Then, which of the following provisions shall also apply to person who has obtained registration voluntarily? He can claim ITC. He has to issue tax invoice. C, both of the above. D, none of the above. Answer is both of the above. Why so? Because all provisions of CGST Act are equally applicable. All provisions of CGST Act are equally applicable to that person who obtains registration voluntarily. Perfect. Mr. A of Haryana orders the goods from a shop in Maharashtra. The goods are transported by the shop in Maharashtra to the buyer in Haryana via Gujarat. What is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? Answer correctly. Place of supply. Here, supply involves movement of goods. Yes or no? Supply involves movement of goods. Absolutely. So, place of supply is where the goods terminate for their delivery. So, where the goods are terminating for delivery. Answer is Haryana. Supply involves movement of goods. Afterwards, check section 10, subsection 1, clause A. Section 10, subsection 1, clause A. Now check. In a Bangalore, Kochi, Pune flight, goods are loaded at Kochi airport for sale on the flight. What is the place of supply of goods? Place of supply of goods is Kochi. Section 10, subsection 1, clause E. The place of supply in such cases is that place where the goods are taken on board the conveyance. Okay. Architect from Kolkata, West Bengal is appointed by party in Mumbai to design its immovable property in Singapore. What is the place of supply? There is a race, okay, of answering fast, in which all are participating, and those who are participating in that, they are going incorrect mostly. Don't do that. The right thing is to participate in the race of nicely thinking and answering. It is for yourself to evaluate. So don't answer fast, answer correct. So please understand, answer is Mumbai. Why answer is Mumbai? It is first of all section 12. Why section 12? Supplier, recipient of supply both in India. Place of supply of services. That's why 12. Subsection 3. Immovable property. Place of supply is location where property is located or intended to be located. So usually it should have been Singapore. But if the property is located outside India, then place of supply is location of recipient. Hence the answer is Mumbai. Is it clear with all of you? Now next, LMN and company registered under GST in Assam places goods with ABC and company transporter for transporting them from Sikkim to Kerala. what is the place of supply? Fantastic, Kirti, amazing. Answer is C, Assam. Why? Because this is section 12 subsection 8. Section 12 subsection 8, that is transportation of goods, services of transportation of goods. And here, if it is given to registered person, place of supply is location of such person, and if given to unregistered person, then it is place where the goods are handed over for their transportation. Here, recipient of supply is LMN & Company, which is registered. So place of supply is location of such person, that is Assam, irrespective of the fact where the goods are loaded on the conveyance. So amazing, Kirti, you answered it at first go. Very good, well done. And any others who got this answer correct, very good. So you are thinking a lot and answering. Casual taxable person can obtain registration for maximum of dash days in a particular state. So for maximum of 90 days without extension. And if it is with extension, then correct, Himani, 180 days. That is the advantage of switching on your video and sitting. I can observe what you are saying. Yesterday also I told you that if possible, keep your videos on. It is always better. Correct. Very good. Chalo, let's go ahead. 39th question. In which of the following state CGST plus UTGST is chargeable even if it is intrastate supply within union territory? CGST plus UTGST is chargeable. Answer is none of the above. Why none of the above? In both these cases, actually what is chargeable is CGST plus SGST. Why so? Because both have their own state legislatures. Yes. Suraksha, only question was CGST plus SGST or CGST plus UTGST. I am talking about within them, within Delhi or within Pondicherry. I am not talking about Delhi to Pondicherry. I am talking about within Delhi, within Pondicherry. So what is applicable? CGST plus SGST. So answer should be C. Which of the service given by bank is exempted from GST? This has come up in discussion many times. Indirectly. Answer is B. Advancing of loans and deposits, to the extent actually it is represented by way of interest or discount. But amongst given 4 options, B should be the appropriate answer. I have only drafted these questions. So now I realize that here answer should have been advancing of loans and deposit to the extent it is represented by way of interest or deposits. How many of you got 10 out of 10? Acha. Priyanshu got 8 out of 10. Not bad. Himani got 8 out of 10. Nikhil got 9. Rucha got 9. Gyanesh 7. Acceptable. Then I have lost the count now. Revati 8 I can see. Priyanka 8 I can see. Yash 8. Ritika 8. Namita 9. Sachin 8. Fine. Good, chalo. Nice. So we have done 40 questions till now. How many of you got 39 out of 40? Anyone with 39 out of 40? No. Anyone with 38 out of 40? No. Anyone with 37 out of 40? Acha. Very good. So at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates. 36 out of 40. Rucha is 36 out of 40 or 37 out of 40? Okay. 35 out of 40. Just write your score, na? 35. Fine. Himani 35. Jayalakshmi 35. Good. Priyanshu 35. Priyanka 34. Chalo. No problem. Last 10. Then you tell me your final score. Okay. You can tell me your final score on my personal WhatsApp also. That is also absolutely okay. It will be accountability for you. It will be like personal report card with me. So optional, if you want, you may tell me your score on the WhatsApp. Or rather, we will do one thing. If you give me your score on WhatsApp, then I will forward you this sheet. Okay? And one thing, very honestly, you should tell me. Okay? Chalo. Dishonesty then in main exam, see, 5 marks less. Okay. See now, 41st question. Which of the following services are exempted under GST? Now don't worry about exemptions. Okay. This Sunday, listen properly, listen carefully and spread this word to your friends also. This Sunday, the date is what? 11th. This Sunday, what would be the date? 11th. On 11th of April, there is a complete lockdown, at least in Pune. So if possible, I'll come to the class and take that session. If not possible, I will take that session from home. The session will be on exemptions under GST. It is open for all. It is open for all session. It will be from morning 6 to afternoon 2. 6 to 2, that is how many hours? 8 hours. Isn't it? Count properly, it is 8 hours. In that I will give you break in between of 15 minutes whenever needed. Okay, if possible, I will tell you schedule also in detail, so that if you want to manage the breakfasts and all, you can manage accordingly. But see to it that 6 to 8 you attend. It will be fun. Lot of exemptions you have to do, so that you get exemption. Okay, in that this all will get covered. So it's an open session for all. Okay, I will send you the link. I want all of you to attend. Even executive students can attend, because I have seen 2 to 3 exemptions being asked to them. MCOM students can attend. Some of you are here. The exemptions is also in your syllabus. CS professional students, compulsory you have to attend. Correct? Because I could see last time 18-20 marks weightage for that. There are 82 exemptions in the services part. So anyways, now those who have prepared can answer these questions. And if you have not prepared, still answer. Try to guess. Which of the following services are exempted under GST? Testing of agricultural produce. Exempted means you know, no GST. Supply of farm labor. Warehousing of agricultural produce. D. Answer is D. Correct. Mr. Narayan Goel has booked a room on rent in Sunshine Hotel for purpose of lodging on 10th August. GST is not payable by Narayan Goel in case value of supply of for the same is dash. Yes. What is the answer for this? Answer for this is rupees. Chalo, tell me, guess. If no one has done, they still guess. Answer is A. Because 1000 rupees, if declared value is not exceeding 1000, then it is exempt from GST. In other cases, it is exceeding 1000, there will be GST chargeable. What is the validity of registration certificate? What is the validity of registration certificate? There is no such validity. It is valid till it is cancelled. So answer is C. Okay, exempt supply includes, I have been telling this to you in class again and again, that what exempt supply includes. Okay, is blur screen problem for all? Yes. Yes. So for 1 minute I will leave the meeting and I will start the meeting again. Please join back again because I want to know your score out of 50. Am I audible and visible to all of you? Am I audible, visible and to all of you, and is the screen also visible? Yes, yes. Chalo. So tell me, 44th answer. What is the answer for 44th? This is given in section 2, subsection 47. Exempt supply includes all these things. So answer is 1, 2 and 3. Answer is D. Chalo, then next. Discount given after the supply has been effected is deducted from value of taxable supply if. So this is talking about conditions to be satisfied to deduct discount, to exclude discount from the assessable value as per section 15 subsection 3. This is clause B's discount because it is discount given after supply. So what is the answer for this? Answer for this is all, correct, D. All the conditions should be satisfied. Very good. In which of the following situation recipient needs to add ITC availed by him to his output tax liability? In which of the following situations recipient needs to add the ITC availed by him to his output tax liability? Yes, answer is C. If the payment for supplies under forward charge is not made to the supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice. Clear? 47th. If goods are received in lots of installments, dash. If goods are received in lots or installments, then very simple, it is given in proviso to section 16 subsection 2. Then ITC can be availed on receipt of last lot or installment. Correct? Then the time of supply of service in case of reverse charge mechanism is, first of all, in which section subsection it is given? It is given in section, we are talking about service, 13 subsection 3. So answer is the date of payment, date on which payment is made to the supplier, or the date immediately following 60 days from the date of issue of invoice, whichever is earlier. So answer is D. Then going to second last question. In case of supply of goods for rupees 5 lakhs, following information is provided. Advance is received on 1st April, invoice is issued on 15th April, goods are removed on 25th April. What is the time of supply of goods? So you know, time of supply of goods under forward charge mechanism is given in which section, subsection? It's given in 12 subsection 2, Kirti 2. Time of supply is date of issue of invoice or the last date when invoice should have been issued, whichever is earlier. So 15th April is date of issue of invoice and last date when invoice should have been issued is 25th April, whichever is earlier. So answer is 15th April. Last question. Within how many days an application for revocation of cancellation of registration can be made? Given in section 30, read with rules. So what is the answer for this? Within how many days you can revoke cancellation? So answer is D. Within 30 days from date of service of cancellation order. Correct? So I am not going to ask you the score here. If you are watching the YouTube video, because I am going to post it on YouTube, this session will not come up in the link in the drive. This will go on the YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, please let me know your score in the comment. If you are watching it on Zoom right now, you can see my phone number below. Please WhatsApp me your score. I want to know that, because we have to maintain a progress card of this. Correct? After this, we will take multiple such sessions and you have to tell me when you reach 50 out of 50. Correct? Chalo, send me the score on my personal WhatsApp. Correct? And also tell me, did you like the session on the WhatsApp? And on coming Sunday, don't forget to come up for that exemptions. All revision batch students, you can also forward it to your friends, because it is the need of the hour to do that session. Okay, so everyone should attend compulsorily. Chalo then, thank you very much from my end. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there. See you in the next session. Bye bye. Friends, for more such videos, do subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.